It's about the hours spent getting everything just right. It's the attention to detail. Good just isn't good enough. It's the years spent on the water day after day. When you tie on a bait by Strike King, you're standing on the shoulders of legends.
You know, Strike King has really been on a roll lately. We've had an unprecedented number of recent wins. And two of our guys right now are leading the Bassmaster Angler of the Year race. You know, Greg Hackney, he's in second, 1 point behind Mark Davis. Both of these guys have been fishing with Strike King lures for a long time. And really, the secret at Strike King to why our lures are the best out there is really it's all in the people. Top to bottom within our company, everybody's a fisherman. Our owner's a fisherman. People in the warehouse are fishermen. Our lure designers, they live it every single day. And our pro staff, believe me, they're the best in the business. That's how we develop these lures, is we get all these minds together, go out there, come up with an idea, looking for a new tool, a new bait to cover a new depth zone, a new technique. And we want to go out there and make sure that it's the best that it can be. So we spend a lot of time meticulously working to make sure we get the perfect action, the right depth zone, you know, the right style of bait, and the right colors. At Strike King, it's really not that hard to figure out. We've got the people to make it happen, and that's why our lures are the best. Strike King has become known as the leader in the hard bait category. We've got a great lineup from top to bottom. So each year it gets harder and harder to find that perfect niche bait to add to the line. Well, this year we nailed it. We've got 3 new hard baits that you have to have in your tackle box. This bait right here is a bait that I've been working on for over a year. It's the new 1.5 shallow, and this one here is a keeper. You know, our square bill lineup is unbelievable. You know, you want to have a bait that has incredible action, one that has that erratic searching action, and that's what makes all of our square bills really special. Well, we did it with a shallow version right here. Again, this bait will run, you know, up to 3 feet deep if you hold your rod tip down and you're using light line, but you can also hold your rod tip up and wake it right underneath the surface. The key with it though is it has that, you know, signature Strike King square bill action where that bait is hunting and darting around, and that's what it takes to trigger fish. You gotta have this bait in your tackle box anytime you're fishing over shallow grass, around shallow laydowns and things like that, where you want a bait that's gonna run a little bit closer to the surface. The 1.5 shallow is one you gotta have. It's a fish catching machine. You know, last year Strike King came out with the 10XD, and an unprecedented number of tournaments were won on this big Magnum sized crankbait all around the country. Well, this year we've got another special Magnum bait coming. This is the new 8.0 square bill. It's based off of our 2.5 design, but it's upsized. Again, a lot of lakes in the country now, there's a lot of big fish. You got to have a big bait to catch these bigger fish. And this 8.0, it's the perfect medicine. What's really special about it though is the action that we designed into it. The way this bait is balanced, it has the huntingest, searchingest, erratic action of any square bill that we have. This one's really, really special right here. So when you're looking for a bait to catch big fish, those Magnum sized shad are running, this is the bait to tie on. The new 8.0, it's going to deflect off the cover just like the other square bills in the line, and it's going to run down to about 7 or 8 feet. So this is a great tool to add to your tackle box if you're looking for a big bass catcher. This is the new Strike King Lucky Shad, and it's a special minnow type bait. We worked really hard to get the perfect action out of this. This has the liveliness that a wood bait has, but it's made out of plastic, so it's durable. What I really like about this lure is it's got a nice tight action to it, it casts real well, and it runs down to about 8 feet. You know, if you've got cold water or tough fishing conditions, you know, when the bite is really off, this is the bait you want to tie on. You know, Strike King, without a doubt, has always been the leader in the wire bait business. For 49 years, Strike King was always known as a spinnerbait company. Obviously, we've expanded into a lot of other areas, but still to this day, we are #1 in wire baits. And this year, it's no different. We got 4 new baits that you gotta have in your tackle box. You know, last year Strike King introduced the Rage blade, and it took the market by storm. You know, it's better than other bladed swim jigs because the hookup ratio is a lot better and it's a lot more weedless. The other thing I really like about it is when you drop it, it falls straight to the bottom, so you can actually jig that bait in deep water. Well, we have a great new addition to that Rage blade line this year. It's the Naked Rage blade, and it's got a clear blade to it, and it comes with Strike King's blade minnow pre-rigged on it. This thing has incredible action in the water. So if you got a situation where the water's a little bit clearer and the bite's a little bit tougher, this new Naked Rage blade is the bait to tie on. You know, last year we introduced the Denny Brauer structure jig, and it changed the way I fish jigs. I mean, that head design fishes through cover, and yet it still stands up like a football head jig. It's a great jig. Well, this year we've got the baby version. So anytime you need a finesse type jig and you're still fishing offshore structure, casting into rocks, grass, wood, things like that, this little baby structure jig right here is the bait to have tied on. Last year, Strike King introduced the Tour Grade Titanium Umbrella Rig, and it really took the market by storm. The advantage of having a titanium wired rig is the springiness or the liveliness when you're fishing that. You give it a little jerk, it makes your swim baits really come alive underwater. This year, we've added blades to it, so it adds a tremendous amount of flash to it. So when you got this going through the water, you got the liveliest school of bait fish that you can actually put in front of a bass. Those blades, they add a lot of flash. That titanium wire, it's got a lot of spring to it. It's going to create an unbelievable school of bait fish look that the bass can't stand, and they got to have it. This is the new Mark Davis structure head, and it's got a great design to it. First and foremost, it's got a 0-degree line tie, so you can fish it right through just about any cover. Not only wood and rock, but also grass. With that swing design on there, it gives the bait incredible action. It's got a deep throat, wide gap hook so that you can put just about any type of plastic on it. I'd recommend the new Rage Bug though. Tie one on and you're gonna catch some fish. This is the new Rage Blaster, and it's a very unique jigging lure. You know, instead of just throwing a regular spoon, you can tie this on and it has incredible action. Not only does it vibrate, but it also has that great spoon type fall. It comes pre-rigged with a feather treble, and it's great for schooling action. You know, if you're fishing for largemouth, white bass, stripers, things like that, the new Rage Blaster is the bait to have. You know, about 4 years ago, Strike King got into the crappie business in a big way. Since then, we've teamed with Wally Marshall, Mr. Crappie, to develop a whole line of crappie-specific lures. And I'm going to tell you, for 2015, we've got a great new lineup. I'm going to let Wally show you exactly what we're coming with.
You know, back when I was in high school, I wasn't a mathematician or anything like that. Matter of fact, I had to take basic math just to get out of school because I like to fish too much. I like to skip school and go fishing. But listen to this, there's 41 million crappie anglers in the United States. Last year alone, Strike King Lure Company sold over 1 million bags of Mr. Crappie by Strike King baits. So if the 41 million crappie fishermen used our baits, that's 41 million crappie if they caught one apiece. That's the reason I want to tell you about the new 2015 lineup from Mr. Crappie and Strike King Lure Company. So here's the new Slabalicious by Strike King. It has a 2-inch rib body, but look at this tail. It's thin all the way down, a little thick right there, and has action like nobody's business. It's like 1.25 inches long, and I'm talking about when this is pulled through the water, whether you're casting it, trolling it, fishing under a cork, or just pitching it and let it fall down along ledges, along the edge of brush piles, laydowns. The Slabalicious by Strike King. You can flip it, you can dip it, you can skip it. I'm talking about the shad pole. For the last couple of years, man, we've sold millions of that bait. Caught a lot of crappie on them, but sometimes when you get a little bit dingier water, want a little bit more vibration, that's the reason in 2015 I've come out with a shad pole CT. That's a shad pole body, same image, with a curly tail, a fat curly tail, and if you've noticed, I've turned it up so it takes less pressure to make that tail work in the water. And if you're looking straight down on it, like in clear water, coming through the water, it looks like two tails running. The Shad Pole CT Mr. Crappie by Strike King, new for 2015. Hey, you know, this past year, Wally Marshall kind of got in trouble. You know, Mr. Crappie was trying to change the original color of electric chicken to this color right here. You probably already seen this color, but it's smoking. We got to keep it in the lineup, guys. And so we have electric chicken that has that snot green on the bottom of it. But now, the new hotchicken.com color, this bright pink with this opaque chartreuse tail. Believe me, if you don't believe me, ask John Barnes about hotchicken.com. It's awesome. We've got it in the Slabalicious, we got it in the Crappie Thunder, we got it in the new Shad Pole CT, we got it in the Shad Pole, we got it into all of them. Everything that we make, Mr. Crappie by Strike King, hotchicken.com. You know, the last couple of years, we've had about 5 different colors of jig heads, but new in 2015, we got the all new Flow Orange, and we have Lime Truce. That's in a 32nd, a 16th, and 1/8 ounce with a number 2 hook in it. Guys, this is what we got to tell them. We got to stress this. We got the number 1 sold hook is a number 2 in all of our jig heads. 32nd ounce, 16th ounce, 1/8 ounce, number 2, black nickel hook, Flow Orange, and Lime Truce, new for 2015, Mr. Crappie by Strike King!
Strike King has really become the leader in the soft plastics industry. And the main reason is our elite pro staff is super picky. Our plastics are second to none. You know, we have 2 distinct lines, and each has its own formulation of plastic. You know, the Rage line, you know, they're Magnum baits. A lot of them have big flanges to them, and it takes a more durable plastic to get that perfect action out of a Rage type bait. You know, our Perfect Plastics line is exactly the opposite. It's super soft, it's subtle, and it has incredible action. You know, companies like Zoom, all they have is one formulation for every bait, whether it's a finesse bait or a Magnum lizard, and it really doesn't help the action of those baits. Strike King's plastic, it's the best it can be for every lure that we design, and that's what separates our baits from everybody else's out there. This is the new Rage Bug, and it's the bait that everybody's been talking about. Our pro staff has been catching a ton of fish on this bait. We've quietly kept this a secret up until now. This bait has unbelievable action to it. It's got 4 appendages with the patented Rage flange, 2 little legs on the side and the tail, so it has a nice streamlined motion in the water. What I really love about this bait is even at the slowest speeds, if you're just barely crawling it, everything's moving on it. It's a great finesse application type bait, but also it's a great flipping bait. I've been punching mats with it. I've caught sight fish with it. I've done just about everything with this. You can put it on the back of a jig. This thing has unbelievable action. You need to see it in the water to truly appreciate it. This is a new Strike King blade minnow. Originally, it was designed just to be a trailer for the Rage Blade, and it has incredible action on the back of a Rage Blade. It's got a segmented body so that it really swims. I mean, it's very lively in the water. The thing that I've found out with it though, is you can put it on a belly-weighted swim bait hook and it has that same swimming action. You can jerk it, you can twitch it, it darts around. This is a really special bait, so not only fish it on the back of your Rage Blade, but try it rigged other ways, and you'll find that it's got that subtle swimming action that the bass can't stand. You know, walleye are a really popular game fish in a lot of parts of the country. But up until this point, Strike King has never really made any walleye-specific lures. You know, you just had to use what we already have. Not anymore. Strike King has a brand new lineup of walleye-specific baits for 2015, and these baits are really special. They've been in development for over 2 years now, and you gotta check them out. If you like to walleye fish, you wanna look at Strike King's new lineup of walleye lures. You know, Strike King's been the leader in deep diving crankbaits, and now we've got a special one just for you walleye fishermen. This is the new banana shad, and you can see it has the XD type bill to it, and this bait has incredible action. And we've spent over 2 years developing it to get that perfect action. It's gonna run about 15 foot on a cast, and you can troll it way deeper than that. It's got a lively action that the walleyes can't stand. It's a brand new banana shad, comes in the best walleye catching colors. If you're serious about walleye fishing, you got to try the new bonsai shad. This is a special little crankbait. You know, it's got a much smaller profile than the banana shad, and it's really got a great action to it. You know, it'll run down to about 12 foot on a cast. If you troll it, it's going to go a lot deeper. But it's got that smaller profile and that subtler action when the bite's just a little bit tougher. If you're serious about walleyes, this is the bait you want to try. Comes in all the great walleye catching colors too. When you're walleye fishing, a lot of times you have to have a crankbait that has a real subtle action. This is the one you gotta have. It's called the Lucky Shad. It's got a real tight wobble to it, and believe me, we've worked really hard to perfect that action to it. This bait has the liveliness of a wood bait, but it's made out of plastic, so it's gonna be a lot more durable. It's got a great rattle to it, and it runs down to about 8 foot on a cast. It's a very good, subtle profile crankbait. Try the new Lucky Shad, and it comes in all the great walleye catching colors. You know, color selection is an important part of catching fish, and having a natural looking bait that looks like the natural forage in the lake is really important. So we've added some really good colors to our KVD 1.0, 1.5, and 2.5 line. They're natural brim, orange brim, and natural shad. If you want a realistic looking finish on your bait to match that forage, you gotta try these 3 new colors.
In 2012, Strike King introduced a revolutionary new series of sunglasses with superior technology to any sunglasses at any price point. These S11 sunglasses, named for their 11 different layer technologies, took the industry by storm, achieving a goal of going from 0 to over $1 million in sales in that first year on the market. Since that point, our sunglasses have become the gold standard of both professional and amateur fishermen alike worldwide, in both fresh and saltwater. For 2015, we've got 10 new stylish frame designs in our S11 line, along with 1 new lens color, our Cloud Lens. The Cloud Lens is made specifically for lower light conditions such as early morning, late in the afternoon, or under cloud cover. With the surge of women participating in the outdoors, Strike King has 2 exclusive women's frame styles with 2 colors of lenses to address this ever-growing market. In our popular SK Plus line of sunglasses, we have 7 new frame styles that are going to be available for 2015. You never go fishing with only 1 rod or bait in the boat, and your sunglasses should be no different. You should have a lens color that fits the conditions you're fishing at that particular moment. The new Cloud lens will complete our line of lenses that will give customers a pair of glasses that will fit any viewing or lighting situation. Strike King Premium Sunglasses. Choose the right tool for the right job.
So there you have it. That's the 2015 lineup of new lures from Strike King. And believe me, we've poured our heart and soul into all these new designs. We want to make sure that every angler, when he picks up a Strike King lure, believes it's the very best that he can fish with. My career depends on it. When I'm out fishing tournaments, I have to have the very best. And at Strike King, in my opinion, we build the best lures in the world. If you don't believe me, just look at the results. They speak for themselves.
When it's all on the line, this is your moment. Second place is not an option. When you tie on a bait by Strike King, you're standing on the shoulders of legends.